Guys, this is quite obviously what happens with images. Okay, so let's take Mary, for instance. She was a Middle Eastern poor girl, like 13 years old, when she was pregnant with our Lord, right? And how does she get depicted? Absolutely stunningly gorgeous. The fairest white skin you could imagine. Luscious blonde hair. A halo above her head. Wearing silk clothes of blue and white. Like, that's what's going on, right? And this is, it's saying that when you do that, you basically are just inciting or enticing people to worship it. And you can't tell us that's not what we see in the Roman Catholic and Eastern Orthodox world. I've seen people lying prostrate before images of Mary, before statues of her. And I look at the statue and I'm sort of thinking, I highly doubt Mary looked like that statue, for starters. And it's just, this is what happens. I went on a mission trip to India. It was quite a few years ago now. I think it was in 2017. And the part of India we're in, there was lots of Roman Catholics. And man, the image worship was unlike anything I've ever seen before. I mean, obviously the Hindus would do it too to their demon gods, but the Catholics as well it would almost be kind of funny. So you'd have this representation of some demon on one side of the street for the Hindu demons, and then on the other side of the road, like it would often happen this way, you'd have a statue of a Catholic saint, and the same sort of veneration the Hindus would show to their demon images. The Catholics would show to the statues of the saints, but it would always be depicted, in stunning form, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It is a funny observation. It really is a funny observation, and I think the abuse just somehow goes even further, because sometimes they'll even say, "Oh, we're not trying to do this. We don't want to do that." But then they do that anyway. And a good example, Sean Barster here with his comment reminded me of it. I can understand venerating images of Christ. Well, hopefully after this, you can understand not doing that now, because as the logical scripture itself says, this is the immortal God and you're putting him in a corruptible form. Don't do that.
And thank you for the correction, James. Yes.
Nonetheless, yes. Romanists, not Catholics. Yep, 100%. That's in my head. Nonetheless, in terms of a relative hierarchy of sensibility, sure, let's say venerating images of Christ, that's the least objectionable of otherwise a set of objectionable stuff. They tend to lose me when Catholics say you can venerate images of saints and angels as well as images of God the Father. That last one is the one that really tells me, especially with Orthodoxy, because you can find a good deal of images of God the Father himself. Mm-hmm. And yet when you look at their own principles as throughout their own writings, including Nicaea 2 itself, that is absolutely forbidden, because they will themselves, particularly John of Damascus, he will strongly emphasize how, look, Israel, they didn't see God because he was God the Father. No one has seen him. That's why they couldn't depict him, which is a misinterpretation of that Deuteronomy passage, but whatever. And then he says, but now with Christ becoming incarnate, he became in flesh, he became in material. Therefore, we can depict him, and we really should, and give veneration to it. But then we can say, okay, cool, let's grant that silliness. God the Father, you still haven't seen him. No one has seen the Father and lived. They grant that. They actually grant that. Nicaea 2 itself, in their Acts, say that. No one has seen the Father and lived. And that's why, in addition, they'll actually try to argue, and we'll get into that, they'll try to argue that in making images of Christ, they're only depicting his human nature and not his divine nature, which is like, Nestorian alert. But either way, they're deliberately trying to say we're not trying to depict the divine nature, let alone the Father, right? And yet you will see today icons of the Father, not just little image icons, but under the dome of churches, you will see icons of God the Father.
Yeah, I saw this in India. I saw a statue of this. I don't know who it was. I mean, can someone tell me? It was this guy with this big white beard. That's kind of weird. And he was holding up Jesus, holding him up so Jesus is sort of crucified, and this guy with a big beard is holding him up. And then at Jesus' feet is a dove. Why was there a dove at Jesus' feet? Who could that be?
That must have been Zeus. It must have been Zeus.
Oh yeah. But this isn't just in India. So there's a Roman Catholic gift shop near where I live, And I went there, and they sell crucifixes where there's God the Father clearly because he's got a big beard, holding up his son, and then there's a dove by his feet. So this is a depiction of the Trinity. I saw this on Facebook the other day. A friend of mine on Facebook posted an image saying, "This is." I don't know if you've seen this, Paul, because it kind of I saw a few people post it. It said, when you're taking the Eucharist, this is what you see, and it's like people at church taking communion. And then it says, this is what's actually happening. And then it's like everyone's in heaven taking communion, but there's Jesus on a throne, and there's this guy with a big beard, I wonder who that is, sitting next to him, and then in between them is a dove. So that's a depiction of the first and third persons of the Trinity. Even Nicaea 2 says that's unacceptable, but it still happens anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we can see why, because their own logic, their own reasons, like on top of the fact that their whole theology is built on just so stories to try and explain away the passages, their reasoning for trying to get away from the implication of, okay, so you're depicting the divine nature now, is built upon even further just so stories. And we will get to that more.